How's it going? This is Willie here from webmasterysecrets.com, and today we're going to be looking at how to purchase a domain name and some of the things you should ask yourself before actually purchasing a domain name. Then I'm actually going to go live on the website and walk you through how to purchase a domain name by purchasing a domain name for myself. Now, the first thing you want to know right up front, a domain name typically runs anywhere from $9 to $20-$30, depending upon where you go and what type of domain name you pick up, because you can get a premium domain name that's up in the thousands of dollars. So it really just comes down to what you want and what you want that domain name to do. So really quickly, before we dive into these questions, if you're unfamiliar with what a domain name is, a domain name is just simply the URL to your website. So the URL is like your address. So this is how you tell people to find your website. Just like with your house, you give people your address. It's the same equivalent online. So this is your URL. They go here and they get your website. So the first thing you need when you're first coming online is a domain name. The second thing you need is a hosting, which we're going to talk about that in the upcoming video. So the first question you got to ask yourself before you purchase a domain name is, what is the purpose of your site? Meaning, like, is your site to generate leads if you're in a network marketing business? If you're a sales pro, are you trying to just make sales? Are you trying to have a long-term website where you turn it into a marketing machine, meaning you build out a website that each web page is designed to generate you leads? Or are you just trying to create maybe a two-page website that's sole purpose is for you to be able to go on Facebook or go on Google or go to YouTube or whatever preferred search engine and do paid traffic or whatever the case may be? The next question you want to ask yourself is, what are you branding? And this is a very important question, especially if you're a network marketer. If you're a network marketer, you don't want to brand your company, meaning that, let's say you are in Amway. We're going to use Amway for example. I'm not in Amway, but Amway has been around for years, so it makes for a really good example. So let's say, hypothetically speaking, you're in Amway. You don't want to go out and do, let's say, AmwayReview.com like some people would do. The reason why you don't want to do that, and the reason why you want to kind of stay away from branding your network marketing company is, one, you don't know if this company is going to ever go out of business. I mean, the probability of them going out of business is highly unlikely, but you still don't want to do that. And another reason is, some network marketing companies and some direct selling companies don't want you using their name or their brand within your URL, because they don't want to have to be responsible for any marketing or thing like that where they can be liable for anything you're doing. So some companies will shut your account down or freeze your account, so you definitely want to stay away from that. So when you're branding something, typically you want to brand something that you're going to be talking about, meaning whatever your specific market is about, whatever your specific niche is about, that's really what you want to brand. So for example, my website is all about teaching network marketers and sales pros how to leverage the network, the internet, to grow their business through online and offline strategies. So the name of my website is webmasterysecrets.com. So as a result of that, people can look at my website and know exactly what it's about and know if it's for them or not. And you want to typically start out with something like that. I know some people say purchase your name first, but trust me, if you decide to get into paid marketing or paid strategies, then you're definitely going to want to do something that you want to brand. The next thing you want to ask yourself is this going to be your main site? Because if it's not going to be your main site, for example, Webmastery Secrets is my main site, and the website that I'm about to purchase right now is not my main site, but it is going to be like my main funnel, if you will. And if you don't know what a funnel is, don't worry about it. We're going to learn all about that in upcoming episodes. So you want to make sure, if this is your main site, you want to make sure it's something that's catchy and something intriguing. The next question you want to ask yourself is, if it's your main site, is it something that people can easily spell? Meaning, if I met you on the street and I gave you and you gave me your website, can I just take out my phone and type it in without having to pick up a dictionary? This is huge, especially if you're doing lead generation and you have somebody going to the website because you want them to take a specific action. Now, a way to get around this is if you just print out some business cards and your website is on the business card and you put a QR code on there, then clearly you don't have to worry about it. They just scan it. It's not really a big deal. That's a way to get around this if you have a name that you really want but you know people aren't going to be able to spell. The next thing you want to ask yourself, which is probably the biggest one on here, is it easy to remember? So if your website is easy to remember, 9 times out of 10 people will check it out if they're online. But if you have a hard website to remember, 9 times out of 10 people will get lost online while they're looking for your website. I can't tell you how many times I was looking for a website, got lost, typed in the wrong URL, and it brought me to something else, got distracted, and before you know it, I'm all the way over here when I was supposed to have been on my way to the site. So these are some of the questions you want to ask yourself. Now, once you have those in place, the next thing you want to consider is if you're going to do SEO. Now, SEO just stands for search engine optimization. What that means is based off your domain name that you pick, and this is a little advanced, so you don't really have to worry about it. Based off the domain name you pick, you can get free traffic to your website. Based off when people go to the search box, type in, let's say, web secrets, then you can get free traffic. All because they typed it in and your domain is relevant to that. Gives you more SEO power, if you will. Again, this is not something that's really a big deal, but if you're thinking about doing free traffic or free strategies, then this is definitely going to be something you want to think about when you're going after your main URL. Now, if you're just getting started and you want to purchase your name like most people do, that's not a big deal. By all means, you can do that. And by all means, no matter what name you pick, you're still going to be able to rank in the search engines. A lot of people in the industry right now just have their name. For example, if I wanted to have WilliePrevost.com, I could still rank this name even though this is a generic name. And in some cases, this works better than having a descriptive name. And in other cases, it doesn't. Like when you're doing paid marketing, in my personal opinion, this does not work better. Now, when you're doing branding and things like that and you just want to get exposure and get people to start seeing your name over and over, building your brand, building your customer loyalty, getting that consistency going, then this is a better way to go. So right now we're going to hop over to the website. I think you get a pretty good understanding of what it's about when you're going to pick up a domain name and some of the things you want to look at or consider before purchasing a domain name. So right now, let's hop over to the website. Now, here we are at GoDaddy. In my personal opinion, and again, this is just my personal opinion, everybody have their own personal preference. When I first came online, GoDaddy was originally introduced to me. Now, because GoDaddy was introduced to me, I never went to like Namecheap or any of those other places. So let's go right here right now and take a look, just as a quick example. I know a lot of people recommend Namecheap. I typically don't market things that I don't use, and what I mean by that is I'm not familiar with Namecheap, and what that simply means is I've never purchased a name from that domain name, so I'm not really entirely sure how Namecheap works. I'm almost sure it has the same interface, but I don't want to just assume. So what you would do is you see this box down here, and what you would just simply do is really simple. You just type in what you want. So let's say I wanted, let's say, futuristic leverage.com. I would just simply hit enter, and what it's going to do is it's going to go out and tell me if that's available. If it's available, then it's going to tell me how much it's for. So as you can see right now, it is available for $10.69 a year. So that means I can get this domain name for only $10.69 plus tax today, and every year I can just renew it for $10.69. So as you can see, it's really cost effective when you're getting started online. And if I wanted to, I can get these too. Now, of course, if you wanted to get something else, you could just type in whatever you wanted. Like if you wanted your name, you could type in your name and you can see if it's available. I'm sure my name is available because I have a very uncommon last name, and it is, so I can get that as well for 1069. So right now what I want to do is I want to go over to GoDaddy because that was Namecheap, and like I said, I just wanted to show you an alternative to GoDaddy. And I want to put in the exact same keyword, which is futuristic leverage. Then I can just simply hit search, and I'm already sure it's available because I already have it, so I can just simply click add to cart. Once I click add to cart, I just continue to checkout, and here's what happened. You're going to get these offers, meaning private domain just simply means people don't know who the domain name is registered to. Certification seal just simply means people feel more trustworthy of that site when they come to it, things like that. Web hosting, I don't get web hosting from GoDaddy, and the reason for it is because you want like more functionality when it comes to web hosting, so you don't want to have your hosting bottled with your domain name. That's a bad idea. The next thing you want to do is just simply hit continue. At this point, you can see it's asking me if I want to renew 8 domain names. I don't want to renew that. So actually, you can see over here, futuristic leverage came out like 68 cents cheaper over here. So it's 1017 and there's 1069 over here before tax. So I'm sure it won't always be the case with the prices, but in this particular case, it just worked out for me. Next thing I want to do is you can make it private if you wanted to. I really don't typically care about my domain names being private. The only time I care about it being private is, let's say you're purchasing a domain name from someone and you don't want the search engines to know because you don't want them to de-index or, you know, drop your page ranking. That's when you would use something like that. But for this right here, it's not really a big deal to me. The next thing I want to do is I want to simply go down and remove that. So the way I would do that is I would just simply press delete. I would just simply delete that out. Then as you can see, it's right there. So right now it's asking me a few things like, do I want certain things, and that stuff right there I don't need, because this again is just going to be like my marketing funnel. Webmaster Secret has all of those things, but I don't need it on this particular website. So what I'm going to do is, they ask me, do I want to donate the change to charity, and I absolutely do. I'm a freak about animals, so I definitely want to give charity to the animals. So after that, you simply click checkout, and I have to simply put in my username and password, which I would think it's already in if it's telling me I have 8 domain names. So at this point, I just simply want to pick up whichever one I want to pick out. So for example, if I wanted to go with PayPal, I could go with PayPal. If I wanted to go with something else, I could. So it just comes down to which one you want to go with. So once you pick out and put your information over here, if you don't have an account, you just simply click place order. And from there, you've just purchased a domain name. It's really just that simple. So if this is your first domain name, for example, GoDaddy is going to send you your information to log into GoDaddy and everything else. So for example, let's head over to my Gmail account because that's where I have everything filtered to. So you can see it says sales confirmation. So as you can see, it gives me the receipt. It tells me my username right here, and I'm able to log in now. So let's say you didn't have an account with GoDaddy and you just purchased, then they're going to send you all your login information inside of GoDaddy, inside of this little first email. Now the next thing you would do is you would just simply head back over to GoDaddy and you would just simply log in. Since I'm already logged in, it would be kind of hard for me to, let's just save this really quickly. So I can just simply click my account. Once I click my account, I can go over here and launch domains. And right now I could just scroll down to the domain name that I just purchased, which is Futuristic Leverage, which I think is a really cool name. So I'll scroll back up because clearly I passed it, and you can see it right here. So at that point, I'll show you around the back of the interface. And really quickly, let's say that you've just purchased the domain name, but you're still in the process of deciding what hosting account to go with. Or let's say, for example, hypothetically, you wanted to promote your primary business, but you didn't want to use the same name as everybody else. So let's go over and let's just use Amway, for example. We're going to stick with that one. So again, I'm not affiliated with Amway. That's the main reason why I'm using it. So let's say Amway, we wanted to use Amway. Let's say we promote Amway. What we could do is we could copy Amway, copy the URL from the top, and then at that point we can come back over here, and where it says forward, so right here, we can go down here to say forward domain name, and at that point we can just simply put in Amway. We got to take that little piece out. Then after that we can click preview right here. And the little box is going to pop up with Amway. And as you can see, it popped up. At that point we can just simply press OK, and then that means every time somebody go to futuristicleverage.com, Amway website is going to pop up. Pretty cool stuff. So I just wanted to show you that little quick inside tip before you head off, just in case you were concerned about maybe getting a website online right now. I just wanted to show you that if you wanted to, you can purchase like more than one domain name and have a website temporarily that you send people to, which is your primary, but have it up under a different name versus it saying your primary.net or your primary dot whatever. It could be directly to whatever your company may be. So with that said, we're gonna cancel out of that, and in the next video you're gonna learn how to connect your hosting to your domain name. So head to the very next video, which is going to be right below here.